and Marana mornings. Arizona sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Football is a difficult sport. Players love game days, but for many, the rest of it is a chore. And I would guess that football players enjoy practicing less than athletes in any other sport, which raises an interesting question in late August. How do you know when your football team is ready for live action, for the stuff that really matters? It's a very important question with the Cardinals as it relates to Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. Everybody says their connection has greatly improved. Everyone says it's trending in the right direction. But in 9 sessions of live 11-on-11 football so far this preseason, K1 has a 76% completion rate with Trey McBride and a 53% rate with Marv, which is eerily and ominously close to their percentages last season. Now, the one completion in a preseason game against the Chiefs was well executed and full of hope. But this connection has to click big if the Cardinals are going to fly in 2025, because the running game is already functioning at a very high level and because McBride is the only other elite weapon in the passing game. So if you see K1 and Marv in street clothes this weekend, cross your fingers and hope they're ready to be the next great NFL tandem. After all, a season depends on it. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm trying to think of the incompletions we even had at the joint practice, but not like the connection that we've had throughout camp. I think we've done a great job of continuing to talk, off the field and in between meetings or in between plays or what we're both seeing out there. So I definitely like where we're at. We just got to go out there and put it on the field now.
That's Marvin Harrison Jr. Earlier this week asked if he's worried about the incompletions with him and Kyler Murray.
Hold on, Vinny. You turned your mic off. You pulled a me. Second button on the down there, and second one.
There we go.
There you go.
I pulled a you.
You pulled a me.
Man,
Stop.
me and these buttons today. What is going on?
Stop pulling Dan Bickley.
So just let me say, I want to give credit to Teo Mackey for that stat, because the 9 sessions of 11-on-11 football, 7 high-speed practices against the Cardinals defense, 1 joint practice, 1 preseason game. So that's 9 different sessions of stuff that looks closest to real football as you're going to get. And the completion percentages are exactly where they were last year. That's got to change. So even though they're all saying and feeling that there's a lot of growth in this connection, it hasn't shown it to be the case yet. Now, I was not at the joint practice in Denver. There was not a lot of magic between Kyler Murray and Marv that day, and that's largely due to the fact that Patrick Surtain, the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, was checking Marv a good portion of the day. So nothing wrong with that. But it is something that's going to have to work for this team.
Yeah, obviously it has to. And if you look at the catch percentages for Cardinals receivers and targets last year, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s 53.4 catch percentage is the lowest. A lot of things get factored in there. He is a wideout. Those numbers are going to be a little bit lower than a tight end, obviously. We talked about the issues that the Cardinals had and Marvin Harrison Jr. had with contested catches. Improvement in that area will make that percentage go up. But if you look at the other wideouts and what their percentages were, again, different routes, different tasks being asked of these players. Greg Dortch was at 74%. Trey McBride, 75.5 at tight end. Zay Jones in limited targets, 72.7. Michael Wilson, 66.2. So there's a lot of room for improvement on that.
A lot.
And, you gave a shout-out and a tip of the cap to Teo Mackey on that. Mm-hmm. And you started your blast by saying football players probably dislike practice more than athletes in any other sport. I've given my thoughts on football practice just from my perspective.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine tracking stats in practices.
Oh, yeah, listen.
So, credit to him.
Yeah, and credit to everybody who covers football. It's like I said, it's not the easiest thing because you first thing you got to do when you get out there is you've got to do a roll call in your head. You've got to see if everybody's out there because that information isn't going to be handed to you.
No, it's not like It's not like the beginning of a high school class. We're going to take roll here, kid.
Right. And so it's a very difficult job, and Teo does it very, very well. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this looks like. The one completion I referenced in the blast against the Chiefs, it was notable because Kyler Murray threw the ball to a spot before Marv really even made a break. He hadn't even turned on his linebacker yet, and he kind of let the pass fly, which is good. That speaks to the trust that's going to have to be there. And once again, this is an offense they did not add a lot of fortification to this offense. This is largely the same returning offense.
Yeah. We're counting on sharpening themselves.
That's it.
Yeah.
So they're counting on Trey Benson making a jump to give added heft to that rushing attack, and they're really expecting Marv. But the quarterback has, that's part of his deal too, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the difference between overall completion percentage for Kyler Murray and the catch percentage, and you look at that gap, again, plenty of room for improvement. I don't think you're going to see much in terms of, quantifiable reps on Saturday. I don't think either one of those guys is going to play on Saturday, although that's not been determined. Should get a determination on that from Jonathan Gannon sometime in the next day or so. A week to hone things before you go to New Orleans. On the defensive side of the ball, too, I'm wondering, because New Orleans is the only team in football, Ben, at this point that has not named a starting quarterback for week one. They're still evaluating between Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler. Ironically, two guys who played high school football here in the Valley.
That's crazy.
One of those guys is going to be the starter in week one, but the Cardinals don't know who. And there's not a lot of data and film on those guys right now. So this has got to complicate things on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, the good news is, though, they both suck. So they have that going for them.
We say that until Spencer Rattler has like 150 yards at halftime.
I know. We've lived through stuff like that in the past. I remember playing like Pittsburgh one year where they had like their third string quarterback. And
I remember going into Jonathan Gannon's first game as head coach on the road at Washington. But, man, they're starting Sam Howell at quarterback. Guess what happened? Sam Howell beat the Cardinals that day.
Yep.
So you never know what you're going to get. I said it earlier this week, and it's truly something I want to see from the outset of this season is just a more concerted effort to involve Marvin Harrison Jr. firstly,
right,
but also his ability to assert himself in the passing game early on. And we saw glimpses of it last year. Certainly didn't see it in week one. I think everybody was kind of feeling their way out through that. And that was the big storyline after that loss to the Bills. Where was Marvin Harrison Jr.? Why did you draft this guy? You're going to target him 4 times.
Right.
He's going to have 1 catch.
Right. Yeah.
I think both of those things need to be improved from the outset.
Yeah, and I think once they get connection on the easy stuff, back shoulder throws, easy outs, short outs, deep outs, whatever it is, things that should be there whenever you want them. If it's just a matter of execution, then you build on that. I think a lot of it is momentum, and I think a lot of it is, quarterbacks. They know where their meal tickets are, but they've got to feel comfortable that when the ball gets thrown, it's going to be caught.
Yeah.
And so I think I can't wait to see what this will look like if it does reach the level we hope it will.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.